the blues in C, we've got, there's a lot of spots where you can do this. I just picked two in particular for you to work on. Obviously, in that intro there, I was, milking it, overdoing it. But just to give you the idea, it's a cool thing to throw in there, and it uses some unusual sounds. So if we're bending this 11th fret of the high E from the C minor pentatonic scale, right there, you bend it up a whole step, but then you let it go down just a little microtone, and you get this little singing thing. Which you wouldn't really get with, you will hear that too, actually, which would be the 13 to the 12. But that's not what we're doing. We're doing this little micro bend. So after I do it a few times, you can kind of hear it with your ear. It's a familiar sound. So then I'm just going to the 13th fret of the high E, which is from that extension of the C minor pentatonic scale. So I'm just bending that 13th fret of the high E up from this. And then doing that same bend I did earlier with it, which you can do right here. So I'm bending it up, and then letting it come back down, and then pulling off. And then 2 times on that root, which is the 13 of the B. Okay, from here. Okay, but then also that that 13th fret of the high E, you can do the same thing. They just don't really sound good when you're doing too much of it. But it's another spot that's good too. All right, this next lick is in the D minor pentatonic scale. And, it's just kind of a rock, D rock kind of key. And what I'm doing is, for this lick, it starts with this. Sorry. So basically what I'm doing is I'm on the 12th fret of the G string, which is from that scale. I'm starting on that note, and I'm bending it up a whole step. And it comes back down and comes back up. So, okay, so next we're going to bend it up, that same note, and then we're going to the 10th fret of the B string with the index finger. So it starts. One more time. Then we're going to go to an outside note. It's called the major sixth. It's not in that minor pentatonic scale. Normally it would be. But this is a note that you can substitute, it's not going to work every single time, especially with a very minor sounding progression, like a Thrill Is Gone kind of thing. It's not going to work. But in this instance, it works great. So we're going... So from that 10 on the B string, we'll go to the 12 on the B string, whereas the minor would have been the 13. Okay, here's the whole lick again. Okay. So we're using a little motif. We keep going back to that little thing right there. So from this note on the B string, we roll our ring finger over to the 12th of the G, and we're going to do that same. Okay? So you put it all together. So as you can see, there's a lot you can do with those two notes. Okay, here it is again. Okay, now I'm going to go where I'm kind of thinking of it as this position of the D major pentatonic. I'm not playing the whole scale though. But it would be like this, where you put your pinky on the root, 10th fret, that's the root, D, or this one, and you play that what you think of as the minor pentatonic shape right here, but with the D notes as the root. And when you do that, you get the D major pentatonic. You might be thinking, well, isn't that the B minor pentatonic? Yes, it's all the same notes, but that is me playing that shape, thinking of the B's as the root. But what I'm doing is I'm playing D major. So it's what you're thinking of and emphasizing, and also what you're playing it over. The context gives it a different sound. Once again, related to the relative major, relative minor concept. Okay, here's the lick again. So now I'm going out of my minor shape, and I'm thinking of this box right here, which would be between the 7th and the 9th fret on the D and the G string, and I'm sliding with my ring finger, which is a common thing, from 7 to 9 on the D string with the ring finger, index on the 7 of the G to 9. And so I'm bending it. I'm not bending it quite a whole step. Not bending it to that. Just before you get to that note is what you want. So, hammer on pull off again. We're going to see this a lot. Once I do that little nudgy bend, I still have my index finger planted on that 7th of the G, and I'm going to hammer on pull off that 9th fret. That's planted. One pick hammer on pulls that off. Then I'm going to that 9th fret of the D, back to that root right there, which was the 7th of the G. time. Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here. Thanks for coming by and saying hello. Let me cut right to the chase. I want to give you a free blues guitar lesson. It's my Good Karma blues guitar lesson for you. So I put together a 34-minute long DVD quality guitar lesson, but I made it only for my most hardcore fans. Just as a thank you. Like I said, I call it my Good Karma blues guitar lesson. And on that lesson, what I do is that there's kind of a it's like a three-step module. So basically I teach you a really cool but easy to play 12-bar blues with only 2 guitar shapes that you're going to need. And we're going to break that down and learn how to play it. And then after that I teach, the most basic soloing concepts, and then I teach you a handful of my favorite licks, and then at the very end of the module is a jam track for you to practice all the concepts at the very end. It's one of the best lessons I've ever put together, and it's totally free. Good karma, that's it. Alright, so this one's a classic E blues, which, most blues you're going to find, or the majority of them will be in the key of E, for guitar playing. So we're up in the super power zone here, 12th fret root. And this kind of comes from the Cream era, which is that power trio thing, where double stops are a really cool way to fill out the band because it's only bass and drums, and then you soloing. So there's a technique there where you play bigger sounding licks to fill up the band, like this. Okay, so what's going on there? 12th fret is just holding. So if you were to only look at the high E string of that lick, just like that, except for that little, that what we would call a clam, a bad note there at the end. Except for that clam, that's what's going on there. Okay? So, but then on the B string, what we're doing is we're playing this note, which is the 15th fret, which is also the same, there's the root, it's the same as this note. Listen to it. Same note. So what we're doing is we're holding that and then bending this one up to that pitch. Like that. Listen. And ideally, your ring finger should dig down, you're using the tip of your finger there, and it should dig down and actually mute that G string, but there were a few times where I didn't get to mute it all the way, and it still sounded really cool and added kind of a, a growl to it as well. You can hear that. Okay, so what we do from there is we go down the minor pentatonic scale. It's very easy, it's just going down the scale, but there's one little nuance in there that's huge in this Cream sound. And it's that little quarter tone bend. And for us, in this key, it's the 12th fret of that G string. Instead of, we're going, now we're not bending it high enough to get to that note. Sorry. We're not doing that. And we're also not doing, so what we're hearing is we're hearing kind of a human voice quality Okay. And so we're doing 2 of those. Check it out again, slow. All right, so stay tuned for another one coming right up.